Give the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. I am Kim Schultz. I'm the Vice President of the Council. I'm running the meeting this evening because Mayor Green is away at another meeting, which I'll talk about in a minute. Okay. The meeting is being recorded by electronic means and will follow an agenda. Anyone who wished to have a matter placed on the agenda needed to submit it to the topic to Mayor Green in writing by the last Wednesday of the month, by the close of business, which is 3 o'clock. And then the items we would review for approval. All right. So just briefly, the mayor and Councilman Hoffman are at a meeting with our legislative delegation, and they were invited to submit town priorities for the governor's fiscal year 2023 capital and nonprofit legislative bond initiative budget. So they worked together to talk about the approximately $17 million in mostly water infrastructure projects that the town has, and to talk about the burden that would be on the citizens. And they're going to make a brief presentation tonight about that. So hopefully we'll get more news to come on that from them at the next meeting. Okay. All right, we don't have any minutes to approve because we had a combined meeting in September, and we will approve those minutes at the work session. And we do not have a mayor's report. So we're going to move on to the council committees, and the first person for that is Councilwoman Gribben-Lindeman on community enhancement.
Okay.
Real quick, Director Myers is reporting that he can't hear anything.
Okay.
So I'm guessing, we'll have to not use the CMC mics and use the one on, if you could just unmute yourself.
Okay.
When you're ready, so.
Thanks, Will.
Okay, is that good? Oh, but then we're gonna have that,
We got to do the.
oh, okay, good. Okay, well, the things that I have been working on obviously were Music on the Main, which was last Saturday, and I think it was really a huge success. And I would certainly like to thank Mr. Roop for all the work that he did on getting that all together. And then I really feel like it was a great effort by everybody on the council and the fire department. We couldn't have done it without the fire department, and so many people came forward and made an effort to make the Music on the Main the spectacular success that it was. And I can tell you, I was, Councilman Hall and I was back on the Moonbounds for a long time, and there was so many happy kids at that part, at that whole situation. They all got their faces painted, and they were on the train, and they were on the moon bounce, and everything was really good. And the music was great, the food was good. I think the vendors all made money and were happy, and I know I purchased some things, and I was happy too, so I think it was a great success. I also want to mention that on Monday, I will be attending the Maryland Municipal League Conference that will be here in Maryland, along with the mayor. And so, we're continuing to our journey in learning what our roles are as city council people and as the mayor and so forth. So we're always picking up new information, and we will be doing that on Monday. And going forward, we are going to try and start having a Veterans Day celebration again. I don't know if we've had one before, but it's been a while if we have. And so we're kind of late getting started on this, but we do have a few ideas for this year that we're going to be tossing around. And we will be having a Veterans Day celebration, and I should know a little bit more by the time we have our work session, and maybe I could speak briefly about it then, because Veterans Day is coming up, but I will know by next month too. Well, let's see, we don't have that long, so maybe I can speak to it for a few minutes during the work session, just so I can get it out there, and we'll put it out on Facebook and so forth, what that celebration will entail. So I think that's just about it for me, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Banners, have you heard anything on the Christmas decorations?
No, I should probably call and make sure that they are scheduled to be sent on time. So I'm still working on the banners, and I need to check on those Christmas decorations to make sure that they will ship on time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so the next report would have been Councilman Hoffman's Public Works report, but he's not here. Can we get that to stop? Is that Sharon?
Your speaker on?
What, I hit, it says unmute.
Speaker?
Eventually, we'll get this. We'll all get used to this technology eventually. So I think we're going to get a report from Director Myers later, but I am going to read what Councilman Hoffman emailed me. In addition to performing their regular duties, the Public Works crew performed grading at Main Spring and repaired the driveway to the water well, prepared for Music on the Main, prepared for bulk trash, which is this weekend on Saturday the 9th from 8 to noon, performed landscaping at the parks. Also, Public Works is currently working on preparing for fall duties. Since the leaf machine is aging, we are asking residents to use bags and cans for the leaves whenever possible. If leaves are raked to the curb, please leave them in piles instead of spreading them out along the curb. Then also on the Planning Commission, it did meet in September. They had a productive discussion on participating in the appointment of new members. A proposal will be presented to the mayor and council at a future date. The Planning Commission continued to work on revising the comprehensive plan. So that's what we have on Public Works. And then the next councilman would be Councilman Hall on water and sewer.
All right, just to piggyback on the Public Works Department report, for the water and sewer, we did, at the last meeting, the work session, we did approve the SCADA system purchase, so we've been working with the contractor, the vendor for that. The town will have more meetings. Basically, the vendor's now going to start setting up their project plan and their path forward. Director Myers and I were able to get some preliminary information from them. I actually was able to get the demo of the SCADA system. It's great technology. It's going to be a big improvement for the Public Works, so that's going to be great. And on another note, there was a water issue right outside of town, right at the edge of town, where there was some surface water on a road. That surface water was determined to be runoff. And the Public Works crew is working with the state for further mitigation. And just to piggyback on Councilman Lindemann's report, Music on the Main was very fun. It was my first year of actually working it, so I had a lot of fun, spent the whole day out there, and had a great time. So that's my report.
Can I add one more thing, Councilman?
Sharon, unmute yourself.
Okay. I just wanted to give a shout out to Public Works as well, because they did so much to prepare for Music on the Main, and we couldn't have done it without them. I mean, they were awesome. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you. Okay. Public Safety, Councilman Cornick.
Good evening, everyone. For the bulk of the information, I'm going to defer to Deputy Calusi, and if the fire chief is on, I'll do the same. But wanted to say as well, I thought Music on the Main was a culmination of a bunch of good effort on everybody's part. Also wanted to mention our 5K that was a big part of the start of the day was an incredible success. First of all, it was a beautiful morning. Congratulations to those who participated as runners and those who volunteered, because just like that whole Saturday was it was a team effort. A lot of people put a lot of time and effort into it, and it was great to see us kind of commemorate or give honor to a leader in our community who worked in the town as the town manager. So Frank Schaefer was, I think, honored, and I think his family truly appreciated it. My wife and I had a great time there, so that was an awesome event in addition to the Music on the Main. So I know there are a few things that that Deputy Calusi will touch on. It seems like, I don't know if it was more active this month, but it seemed like it. But there are a lot of things that public awareness. I will say this, at Music on the Main, a couple people came up to me and had questions about the parking situation throughout the community, both in Atlee Ridge and Blue Ridge Manor. And I guess they did because, you know, I knew some of these people prior to me coming on the board. But anyway, I did let them know that we have a new code enforcement officer, and I told them their names, her name, and that, you know, she can be reached in town, and she's not, she's there, you know, there's a limited time that she's there, but she is accessible by email and to stop in. So the good thing about that is that, number one, they got that information, but number two, people are interested in, you know, bettering their communities and for the, you know, and safety for the betterment of the neighborhood. One of the issues was parking of a big, I think there was a big tractor trailer that parks in Atlee Ridge. So she, you know, she wasn't making a stink about it. She just wanted to say, hey, listen, that's kind of an eyesore for the community. So hopefully we can get that ironed out and addressed. So that's my 2 cents there. And I'll defer back to the President of the Council.
Any questions for Councilman Cornick? All right, so next up is Economic Development, which is me. The Carroll County Downtown's Economic Development Group is meeting later this week, and they're going to start doing their planning for next year, as well as the holiday shopping season. They didn't do much of anything last year because of COVID, so hopefully I'll have a report for that at the next meeting. Just like everybody else, I want to give a shout out to everyone who helped out with Music on the Main, and of course to our citizens for participating and supporting the event, which was wonderful. Just about everybody on the council, I think everybody on the council, I don't think I'm going to even say just about everybody. Everybody on the council pretty much worked 12, 13 hours that day, so thanks to all of you, as well as former Mayor Roop, who certainly, it was his idea in the first place, and I think he worked 15 hours that day. So it was a great event, and from an economic development perspective, it showcased a lot of our local businesses and a lot of our organizations, and that's great. In fact, we found out about a new business that's a home-based business that has a bakery, and it's a young woman, and she sold out and had to leave early because she sold all of her bread. So we like to see that kind of thing happening. Just another note on that, the holiday season is approaching, so think about shopping local. We do have a couple of places in town where you can think about buying gifts, specifically gift certificates. So keep that in mind as you're planning your holiday shopping this year. And that's all I have. Any questions? All right, town manager's report.
Okay, got a couple things to report on. The rebid of the engineering services for the wastewater treatment plant and our upgrade preliminary engineering report. The council approved the award of the PER to GMB at the August.
Barry, I think you're muted. You're going to have to start over.
Okay, the rebid of the engineering services for the wastewater treatment plant, the preliminary engineering report. At the August 16th work session, council approved the award of the PER to GMB. All required documentation was sent to MDE on August 20th. I did receive an email from MDE with an architect engineer procurement approval letter approving GMB's proposal as eligible for the Bay Restoration Fund grant funding. That's a good step. The next step is to get on the State Board of Public Works agenda for final approval. Board of Public Works action is a procedural necessity, and they have been averaging about 60 days for placement on the agenda and approval. They meet twice a month, so again, good news, but we're still holding for final approval. We are scheduling a kickoff meeting with GMB on October, it is scheduled for October 12th, next week at 11 o'clock. So that's moving along slowly but surely. It's been mentioned already, but the Frank G. Schaefer Memorial 5K Run Walk was a huge success. I thought the weather was perfect. We had 129 registered participants and about 120 participated, ranging in age from 18 months to 77 years old. So we covered the spectrum there. All Frank's immediate family and other relatives and many friends were in attendance. We are still finalizing the numbers as to what we can donate to Caring Carroll and Westminster Roadrunners Club. I did want to ask the council, would the council consider donating any town funds towards the final donation to those two organizations? Is that something that you all are okay with?
I think that's a great idea. How would we do that?
If you recall, we added in that budget line item an additional $5,000, I believe it was, for this event coming up.
Okay.
I'm not saying we do it all, but I need to sit down with Donna, go over the final budget numbers for the race, see where we are, and then come up with maybe an even number, round up, or some kind of thing like that, if that's amenable to the council.
So maybe you just make us a suggestion for a motion next meeting, and we'll make a motion then.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That leads into my next thing is how and when to present the proceeds checks to those organizations. So my suggestion would be to invite those representatives from those organizations, and we'll do it at the November 3rd council meeting, because then at the October work session, I should have the numbers and I'll get approval on the town's portion of that.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
we'll do it at the November 3rd council meeting, so. The Omen Inn Boxwood Garden. Not sure how many people know about this, but it's this cluster over here of boxwoods. You might have noticed that it's become very overgrown with various invasive scrub trees. So Public Works is requesting council approval to have Ichabod's Tree Service remove the invasive trees in most of the boxwoods. They will leave 2 to 3 of the original boxwoods so they can be transplanted or continued, but need to clean that area up. It's getting kind of out of control. So is council okay with having that cleared out?
Are we good enough to just say okay, Michelle, or do we need to? I mean,
Do you have any idea how much money you're talking about? Have you talked to anybody at Ichabod's yet?
Usually what we do is we line them up for a day and do other work, and
have them here for a
they're
day.
about $2,500 for a day for a crew and everything. So we'll work that. We can work that in with other tree work.
I think it would be prudent just to have a motion and a vote on that.
I'll make a motion for that.
did you unmute yourself, Sharon?
Oh,
You're having some kind of issue.
I would like to make a motion to hire Ichabod Tree Service to come in and remove the boxwoods and overgrown trees in the Boxwood Inn.
Is there a second?
I say. Oop.
Okay. All right, all those in favor? Aye.
All right.
Thank you. Okay. Sticking with the Dealman Inn archaeological dig, the Archaeological Society of Maryland, in conjunction with Esther Doyle Reed with the Baltimore Center for Archaeology at University of Maryland, Baltimore County, will be performing a pro bono archaeological excavation at the Dealman Inn historical property in New Windsor. The excavation work will take place on weekends, October 9th and 10th, October 23rd and 24th, and possibly November 6th and 7th as needed, but if there's any weather delays. Work hours will be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's all hand and no mechanical tools or anything, shovels. It's not going to be noisy or anything. A press release has been prepared and posted on the town website and Facebook. I met with Esther and another gentleman with the Historical Society and let them in. They got some equipment in there, and they do encourage residents to stop in and talk to them. They like that kind of thing, and if you're interested in that kind of thing, they're open to questions and volunteers and things like that. So that'll be starting this weekend, weather permitting. The 201 Main Street Park. On 9/14, at the suggestion of Douglas Lawn and Landscape, who was the contractor that did that park, town manager sent a letter and Phase 2 budget to Robin Kirby with Lehigh Cement. The letter provided background on the 201 Main Street Park and asked Lehigh to consider funding a portion of Phase 2 of the park. Town manager suggested there's a proposed 16 by 16 pavilion and/or the sitting sign wall may be of particular interest to Lehigh. On 9/30, I received an email from Kent Martin with Lehigh requesting a tour of the new park, review of Phase 2, and to discuss the town's request for funding. So Mayor Green and I have a meeting scheduled for Friday, October 15th at 1 o'clock, and I will keep you posted on that.
Great.
That's all I had for my report. Any questions for me?
Oh, thank you, Gary. That's great. All right, Director Myers, are you on?
Let me unmute him.
I am. Good evening, everyone. So Public Works has been really busy with maintenance items. We're getting ready for fall. Fortunately, haven't had many water sewer issues. So that's something new for us. Because usually we always have something come up. But anyway, I'd just like to express my concern about the age of our leaf machine. It's getting pretty old, and I kind of want to baby it along because it has issues almost every time you use it now. So we've been using the leaf machine as a kind of street cleaner, and it's not really intended to do that. That's why I requested that Public Works would just pick up piles of leaves. It's a lot easier on it. It's easier on the impeller, and you may have to consider next budget season the possible replacement of that machine based on the condition of it, or get some extensive pick repairs done to it. But other than that, that's all I have. Like Councilman Paul said, we're working on the SCADA system upgrade. I appreciate everybody's support on that. That's going to be a big relief on us. It's very important. It's the emergency call center for the water side of things, and we're looking forward to working with the local company IMAC, and they've been great to work with. Councilman Paul, Gary, and I have a meeting to discuss some of the future projects of the town and to brainstorm and try to figure out which direction to head. So I'm looking forward to that as well. That's all I have.
Thank you, Wayne. And echo is. Any questions for Director Myers? Okay. It's always something. Now it's a leaf machine. Okay, next would be the community deputies report. You're going to have to come to somebody's computer, I think, Brian, to get on mics, since the other mics don't seem to be working.
You want to sit here?
Yeah, I'll get up.
What's that? Push on these, click that blue button. Good evening, everybody. The Carroll County Sheriff's Office, between the dates of September 1st to September 30th, responded to 67 calls for service within town limits. Out of those 67 calls, only 4 required reports, which were the following. On September 1st at approximately 9:28 p.m., deputies responded to the 100 block of Main Street regarding a theft. Investigation revealed that the victim had possibly sold a ladder to the suspect and later wanted it back. Contact was made with the suspect, who agreed to return the ladder. The ladder was returned, and the incident was later reclassified as a civil issue. Case was closed. On September 6th at approximately 4:19 a.m., deputies responded to the 100 block of Church Street regarding a domestic assault. Investigation revealed that the victim was highly impaired by an unknown substance and claimed to be stabbed by the suspect. Deputies were unable to locate any evidence on scene to corroborate the story. All parties were referred to the District Court Commissioner to file their own charges, and case remains open. On September 14th at approximately 1:48 p.m., deputies responded to the 100 block of Main Street regarding a domestic in progress. Investigation revealed that known parties assaulted each other after an argument. One subject was transported to the Carroll Hospital Center for a mental health evaluation and later was arrested on a warrant regarding this incident. Criminal charges were also filed on the second subject involved in the assault. Case was closed by arrest. On September 25th at approximately 6 p.m., deputies responded to the area of Meadow Lane and Old New Windsor Road regarding a malicious destruction of property. Investigation revealed that unknown suspects had spray painted graffiti to the rear of the building and kicked open the door at the location. Case was suspended due to lack of leads and evidence. Other notes, on Wednesday, September 29th, between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., a team of subjects went around town stealing decorative and American flags from residents. Currently, we have 6 reported incidents. I think that actually increased today. We have 9 so far that have occurred here in town. During a joint investigation with other deputies, we were able to locate and identify the out-of-town suspects and are currently looking for more victims before filing for charges. So if you are a victim, please contact the sheriff's office and file a report. As of right now, we know Tawnytown got hit, Union Bridge got hit, Thurmont and Emmitsburg also got hit. So they will be facing some serious punishment here soon. The assessment for GED classes is currently taking place at Springdale Preparatory School, and currently it looks like there is enough to begin classes here in town. So if you had missed the assessment testing this evening and are still interested in getting your GED, please contact Susan Liebman with the Carroll Community College and try to set up a test prior to the start of classes next week. Other than that, that's all I got.
Any questions for the deputy? And we'll put that GED information on Facebook again. And just kind of my flag was one of the flags that was stolen, so I did talk to the deputy, and I put something on Facebook just to encourage people to call the sheriff's department and report things, but this is just a reminder that Facebook is not a place to report crimes, so if something happens, putting a post on Facebook isn't going to get the kind of response that we need to have happen. So please contact the sheriff's office if something happens like that is you suspect to be of criminal nature.
Apparently we just got another report.
The deputy said we just got another report. All right. Councilman Cornick, are you able to report for West Carroll Rec?
I will. So West Carroll Rec is still still looking for volunteers, as we always do, and we're still in the process of trying to find volunteers for people who will be leaving the Rec Council soon. But we will say that the music on the Main was a success. We had a cotton candy stand, and we also had a funnel cake stand. So proceeds were very good. We're looking forward to trying to do it next year. Also would like to thank the fire company for helping us move it. Thank you, former Mayor Neil Rope, for organizing that for us. We were able to get it back to the site, which was a big headache because let me put it this way, it was a big relief that we were able to get it back because I didn't know how it was going to work out at 8 o'clock at night. But anyway, everything went well. Went off with it without a hitch. No pun intended. So anyway, things are well. So if you do know, I know this is an issue with volunteerism across the country, but if anybody knows of anyone that has kids and wants to get involved in the Rec Council, there are a few good people that are looking to retire from the Rec Council. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, so who said they had a fire chief report? Okay, Clerk Alban's going to do that.
Can everyone hear me?
No, because you're muted. Oh, there you go. You're good now.
Okay. Fire Chief Welker had to work this evening, so I'm going to give his report. Calls for the month of September, 32 fire calls, 87 EMS calls, and the year-to-date for that is 256 fire, 655 EMS, and he would also like to thank everyone who came out and supported the fire department at the Music on the Main. This week is Fire Prevention Week. Remember to have a plan to get out. Fire drills aren't just for school. Talk to your family about how to get out of the house if there is a fire and where to meet. when the emergency really occurs, you won't have time to figure out what you're going to do. And that's the fire chief's report.
Before you go into your report, Clerk Alban, I think that I'd like to just, I forgot to say thank you to the fire department for all their work on Music on the Main. They worked all day too. They brought all the chairs over, all the tables. They helped us set up, and without that help, we certainly couldn't have had the event. So I want to publicly make sure we thank them as well. Okay? You're up.
Okay. So our audit firm, we call them ZA because it's Zelenkovsky Axelrod. So ZA is a lot better to say. They were on site the week of September 20th. They were here on site from Monday through Wednesday, and they're still working on completing the audit. The necessary work will be sent electronically, and then the mayor and council will review that, and we will need to approve that. So I'll let you know as soon as I have it in hand. Budget highlights. Well, we have some good news for a change. We actually were about $25,000 up on our highway user revenue for fiscal year '21, which was quite a surprise. We came in at $78,825, which was, like I said, was about $25,000 over what we had budgeted. And then in fiscal year '22, Snyder Summit has already pulled 40 new permits for new dwellings, which means they're going to soon be starting phase 3 of the development. This income, you will see, will be reflected on the enterprise fund under the water hookup fees, the sewer hookup fees, and meter purchase. The general fund line items are impact fees, administration fees, and town building permits. So we are already way over what we had conservatively budgeted for fiscal year '22, which is a good thing. And as Council Member Griffin Lindemann had indicated earlier, she and Mayor Green will be attending the MML Fall Conference next week, and that will fulfill one of our obligations for our requirements for Banner City for MML recognition. And I hate to keep bringing up the SCADA system, but I've been involved in that too, very heavily with Verizon, Public Works Director Myers, IMAX, myself, Verizon Representative Chris Jackson. There's a lot of pieces to put together there for our SIM cards for each of the stations, and so it's a quite a involved process. But it will be good when it's done. And that's all I have, unless somebody has questions.
And I just want to point out that the town does get audited every year, and I think the term is clean. If we have is it called a clean audit? Is that what they call it when you're good?
No
Just the
fraudulent
CPA in the
activity,
room?
no.
Yeah, so we always do really well, so, you know, I know sometimes some folks on social media like to throw things around about how corrupt some of us are, but just want to point out that we do have a clean audit every year, so it's expensive to run a town, but our staff do a great job of managing the money, so thank you. All right. Water sewer billing clerk. Kalina, are you here?
I am. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me?
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
good. So we have had 4 water shutoffs on Monday, October 4th. 3 of the houses were vacant. The house that was turned off, the resident contacted me, paid the balance in full, and they were turned on later that day. I have had several residents call to make payment arrangements of past due balances. However, I have not had any residents contact me for financial aid via COVID. I do have the human services link, so if anybody does ask, I can give that to them. So the past due amount prior to COVID is now $16,000 $695.35, and that's a total of 18 residents. We have 37 residents who are past due from previous quarter, totaling $18,115.09. So that's not including the prior to COVID one. And other than that, water sewer bills were mailed out yesterday. Anybody have any questions for me?
Questions? So Kalina, do you just wait until folks contact you, or do you ever share information about, for instance, the HSP? I'm just thinking about this because I saw a billboard about it again today.
Yeah, no, they haven't, nobody's contacted me about needing financial aid. I mean, we've made payment plans because of like past due balances. A lot of people called and said they just forgot about it. Again, you know, and then, but they've never said that they needed any type of assistance. So, there was one lady, but she's already gone to HSP, so she was already all figured out before she got to me.
And what is this past due balance like? We're gonna get Will to turn the thing off again. What is this kind, I mean, how does this compare to in the past? Like what do we usually have as a floating balance out there of people not being current?
That I'm not 100% sure, but I could get back to you on that one.
That would be great, thanks. Okay. Is Nicole online?
She is online. She's on.
Code Enforcement Officer Felder, do you have a report?
Yes, I did. That's, for the month of September, there were 13 new cases. Of the 13, 5 of those were abated, and none of them were abated with the town assistance, which is good. There were 6 nuisance cases, 1 weed, grass and weed complaint, 2 exterior property maintenance complaints, 3 unlicensed vehicles, and 1 parking complaint. And there were 12 site inspections that were performed for the month. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, Lehigh update. I don't see anybody here from Lehigh. I don't think we have anything. You have anything else on that, Gary? I know you mentioned that they contacted you about the community council.
No, other than that, I don't have anything from Lehigh.
All right, new business. Upcoming holidays, Halloween decoration contest and annual Christmas tree lighting. Okay, somebody fill me in about the Halloween decoration contest.
That's the mayor's.
But he's not here.
That's Mayor Green's?
So yeah, Mayor Green added that.
Okay.
He wanted to discuss it, but I'm not sure we can without it.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be too late
Is
by
that
uh,
the
in
work
this
session.
report here?
No.
No. Oh, wait a minute, hang
Yeah,
on.
it's the second.
I lied, it is here. Okay, let's see, hang on. I'll just read what's written here. We have a great many of our residents that get festive with decorating their homes. With Halloween being at the end of the month and with so many residents decorating their homes, I'd like to do a decoration contest. Nothing fancy, just a first, second, and third. I will go around and see if I can get gift certificates, I guess as prizes. Then he's talking about the Christmas tree lighting, we'll come back to that. So
yes, sometime in the next couple weeks.
who's gonna be the judges?
Here's the mayor.
Okay,
We'll need more information. Well, we're gonna need it before the work session, because that'll be, I should probably.
yeah, well, Halloween's the 31st, yeah.
The 18th, that'll push it real close.
Because we have
got a
to,
week.
what does everybody think? Thoughts?
Maybe something go out on Facebook once the mayor comes back.
Okay,
Put out a message, start a contest, something like that.
all right. So is it all right if I just get with him and,
That should be easy enough to do. That should be easy.
that should be enough, right? I'll just talk to him about it. Or I'll have Kalina do it and we'll get something on Facebook. Okay. Then the Christmas tree lighting. Let's see. We usually have that prior to our first council meeting, what's the date for December? Does anybody know? The first, so December 1st, so we would usually have that prior to that. Where is the Christmas tree going to be?
There's a new tree planted at the,
So there's a new tree planted at the park at High and 75, Main and 75, okay. All right,
Time.
right, the original.
so that usually 6 o'clock, so we'll do that at 6 o'clock. The mayor says that he will reach out to the FSK music program and see if they could send some carolers or some other kind of music. And he's also going to talk to Reverend Matthews about speaking at the lighting. Okay, well, we'll have to talk more about that. All right, so it's at 6 o'clock on the 1st, and we'll keep everybody posted on the details. All right. The other thing that's under new business is the Maryland Municipal League Carroll County Chapter Food Drive.
That was the first thing.
And that's also on here. Our local MML president, Bradley Wance, asked that New Windsor participate in the all-county food drive that is to take place on December 5th from 11 to 3. He is asking that somebody on the council take the lead on this, because he might be on jury duty that week. If someone is interested in volunteering, let him know, and he'll follow up.
When is it?
It's on
Sunday,
yeah,
December 5th.
the
December
5th,
5th.
from 11 to 3.
We could set something up here in the town hall.
Yeah, we could just
And
have a
people
collection
drop
area,
here.
just have a collection area, and we can just
I think that's the easiest.
publicize
yeah.
it, just put a box. That's a
Yep.
great idea, okay.
Do you know where it's gonna go, the food?
And he doesn't have that in here. I'm gonna assume either Carroll County Food Sunday or but it doesn't say. We could,
It's okay to use the park, it's not gonna be Maryland Square Food Drive, but I'm planning on having, continue the food drive for New Windsor Food Bank. It's gonna be probably help the dude get some food or something on Saturday, November 6th.
So what Mr. Roop is saying, for those of you who can't hear him, is that on what is the date again?
November 6th,
Saturday, November 6th, 9 to 4, and we'll get this out online too. He will be standing at our new park here at the corner of High and Main and doing Dude Get Some Food. Is that what we're, something like that? So the name may be modified, but it's going to be a food drive. And the other thing that we talked about is to also help participate, that the town will set up a box here at Town Hall that will be available during business hours to collect food. So we'll post more information about that. All right,
What's the date of that now?
That'll be for the December 5th one.
right,
Not for
right,
this.
right, correct. So we'll get that information out.
That, you know, if it's a weight thing or whatever, I mean, if you get credit for it for MML, you know.
So you're saying instead of doing it for whoever you gave it to, you'd just make that part of the MML drive?
Something, I mean,
Okay,
what I usually do for goes to St. Paul.
okay.
That's a Sunday.
I don't know where the other food goes, you
Yeah.
can do something completely separate, or it goes to St. Paul to help.
He's saying that his food usually goes to St. Paul's food bank here. Okay, well, we'll work on the details for that.
Put a challenge out to the county town and bring
Yeah, and in the past, we've challenged the other municipalities to see whether or not they could come up with as much as we did, so we'll do that again. Great. Anything else for new business, anyone? Okay. Old business. Top priority water and sewer projects / enterprise fund, current and future numbers.
Doing a lot of numbers.
That's a long title. All right, don't forget to unmute yourself, Gary.
agenda.
Sorry. Okay, so. Good?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so a while back, Director Myers and I met and went over and developed a list of the top priority water and sewer projects. And at the September council meeting, combined meeting, work session, we listed the top 4 priority water and top 6 priority sewer projects. And we had a general description and estimated or known costs for those projects were provided. As mentioned earlier, the water treatment plant SCADA system upgrade was already approved. That's off the list already. And then one priority sewer project, the inflow and infiltration study at one of the 6 was removed from the sewer list with the idea that we would put that $150,000 estimated cost towards sewer lining and line some sewer there. So we basically ended up with total for 3 water projects comes to $10,626,000, and the total for 5 sewer projects comes to $8,281,000. So that's a total of $18,907,000. So for tonight's meeting, I wanted to take a look at the enterprise fund, both currently and future numbers. So our current enterprise funds as of November 24th this year, there's two categories there. Developer fees, which is in checking account. That's the water and sewer hookups connections for new homes that we've already collected. That total is $2,463,130. And then the capital budget 3 R's, which 3 R's stands for repair, replace, or rehab. That total is $356,314. So that total is $2,819,444. Our FY22 budgeted revenues, which is the current fiscal year we're in now, and Donna said that some of these numbers we've already well surpassed, which I'll touch here in a minute. Our sewer usage revenues for this fiscal year were budgeted at $591,000. Our sewer hookup fees was based on 8 EDUs. We got 40. So that 8 EDUs is $63,000. Water usage revenues was at $515,000. Water hookup fees, again, based on 8 EDUs, is $77,500. And that totals $1,246,500. We had the first American Rescue Plan Act, the first tranche or distribution was on July 15th, 2021 for $688,696. So you add those 3 together, so the total current enterprise fund balance comes to $4,754,640. Then I ran some numbers for future enterprise funds. Again, developer fees, which are water sewer hookup fees, we have approximately 60 new EDUs left at Snyder's. I used the FY23 water and sewer connection fees per EDU. They total $18,026. So the sewer connection fee per EDU fiscal year 23 is $8,081, and the water connection is $9,945. So those two add $18,026 per EDU times 60 gives you $1,081,560. There is also a 4-lot subdivision on the corner of Lampert and Pilsen. There has not been any recent activity in that. So again, it's 4 lots at that $18,000. That's another $72,104. For the projected FY23 revenues, ran numbers through a spreadsheet. Sewer usage revenues per year for 23 would be $665,000, and your water usage revenues would be $550,000 for a total of $1,215,000. We get the second distribution or trance of the American Rescue Plan money a year from the first, which would be July 15th of 2022. and it's the other half, it's $688,696 again. So for future totaled, enterprise fund, you'd be $3,057,360 plus the current gives you a total of $7,812,000. So I'll just stop there for a second and say for a small municipality, that is a very stout and strong enterprise fund. So as I mentioned before, however, our major priority water and sewer projects total almost $19 million, $18,907,000. So the actual difference between that enterprise fund balance, both current and future, is $11,095,000. Now keep in mind that we don't ever want to completely, entirely deplete our enterprise fund. So we want to we're using a number of 1.5 million to keep in there as a balance. So the actual difference or shortage is $12,595,000, basically adding that 1.5 million back in. So as you can clearly see, there's quite a difference between the cost of our top priority water and sewer projects and the current and future enterprise fund balances, even though we have a very strong enterprise fund. So it will require additional funding through new grants and loans, possible forgiveness on existing grants and loans to complete the much-needed priority projects. Hopefully, the mayor and Councilman Hoffman will be successful in their presentation to the legislative folks, and we get some money from the state, but that's yet to be seen. So, but anything we get there will certainly offset the monies that we needed. Again, keep in mind, we want to keep that 1.5 million in reserve at least all the time on our enterprise fund. The top priority projects remain the Blue Ridge and Atlee Ridge pump stations. Blue Ridge is under design. Atlee Ridge will be next. They're 30 years old. They got to get done. And then the Maryland 31 water main replacement projects. They're the first in line to be done. So I just wanted to kind of take this next step and look. We looked at the projects, we got some numbers on all the projects, and then look at the enterprise fund strength both now and in the future, and just take that another step further. So, and we can continue discussing this, but if does anybody have any questions, I know I threw a lot of numbers at you. I'm more than happy to email, and get this as well from that. So, any questions for me?
Town Manager Dye, I do have a question. What's the confirmed EDU number for the town as we speak prior to the additional 40? Do you know that?
Currently, our water EDU is 755 and our sewer EDU is 734 currently, as of 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
755 and
734.
Okay, and then we're going to add an additional 40 to
45, yeah.
Okay.
And after that, there's no known properties that are part of town limits that could develop. They would have to be annexed in or requested to be annexed in, and maps need to be changed, and it's a whole process to do.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thanks for all that work, Gary, and it's kind of a good timing because we just had the run to honor former town manager Schaefer, and he did a phenomenal amount of work getting our budget in the condition that it's in, and it's a wonderful legacy to leave the town. I know folks get frustrated about the water bill, but really focus, the bottom line is we have approximately $7 million, a little bit less than that if we're going to make sure we keep $1 million in the account, but we have $18 million worth of projects. So it costs a lot of money to maintain water infrastructure, and a lot of ours is quite old, so.
And not to mention the previous forgiveness and grants and things
Right,
that we got
yes.
to knock things
Yes.
down over the years has been
Yes.
several $million.
Yeah,
So
it was about 8, correct,
It'll be a
right?
lot worse.
Yeah, and former Mayor Roop gets a lot of credit for that, but I think it was about 8 million altogether, so it's an ongoing challenge for the town, there's no doubt about that. All right, I see underneath old business, the next thing is the town hall virtual media meetings and audio solution. Are you talking about that, Councilman Cornick or Will, either one of you?
I can talk about it. Last night, unless you want me to, okay, sure, I'll jump in. All right, so at the planning session last month, I mentioned that I was going to put together an analysis, and I did a very early and elementary, I don't know if I can share it, but I did put together a little, basically, a small analysis between the 3 different quotes that we received. The quotes came from, if you bear with me for a second, I will. So the quotes came from CMC, which is doing our presentation tonight, and they gave a total quote that I think the whole council knows of $11,233.75. And then we received one from the audiovisual group. Do have a contact for them. Their quote was for $10,602. And then I received one, a third, from CW Technologies, and it was a quote of $6,500 for one and $75 for the other. All 3 came with good credentials and past history and working with municipalities. We certainly know CMC because they're working our system tonight, as I mentioned. Additionally, the other 2 quotes, Audiovisual Group has worked with several municipalities in the central Maryland, Brunswick, Mount Airy, and I believe Tawnytown. And then CW Technologies put together a whole proposal with references, past history, who they've worked with, and then a breakdown of the prices. So what I'm going to do for the work session is I'll print those out for everybody to have. If I can figure out how to put it on in our group box, I'll do that. But I need to call each of them and try to do an apples-to-apples comparison because this stuff is way over my head, but I need to sit there and try to figure out what we're looking at. But somewhere within the 3, if we, without regard to price right now, I think that we will find a solution that's a little better than what we have when we don't have an additional setup, which is what we have tonight. So it may take a little bit of money. I'm not proposing anything tonight, but I am saying that the 3 people that I spoke with were very knowledgeable, very professional. We may be able to get cameras. I know, obviously, CMC is on display tonight, so we can have cameras and we can display on the big screen. So that in no way is an endorsement, just stating the obvious. So let me do some more homework with that. I'll keep working at it until we get a solution to move forward with. And once we do that, I'll make a proposal or make a motion one way or the other based on that.
So Kevin, I had a few questions. Well, one comment and one question. So I'm not sure what's happening tonight, but we are actually using our own infrastructure tonight.
Okay.
It seems like we're using our own microphones, cameras. The only thing is we are streaming to the TV, which we could do that from any laptop. But the question I did have was the 3 quotes. Is that just for like these gooseneck microphones, or is that the full package of like cameras and all that? Or?
So, with one quote, it is inclusive of the microphones. This type of microphone with another quote, it would be ceiling suspended microphones and potential for cameras. Again, I want to go through it before I start giving any kind of endorsements because I'm just not fully versed in everything. I still need to do an apples to apples comparison, but everyone knows that we're working with municipal money or town money, and that we're working with limited funds, because we're a small town. So, to answer your question, in short, yes, they do have microphones. They know we need that. That is an issue. They're just different variations of what they're going to supply. So, and they all include labor and materials and labor. Again, these are all three relatively local. CMC obviously is from Westminster. So is CW Technologies, and then Audiovisual Group is in Frederick. So. But there's more to come on that, and we'll crack this nut one day. So, all right. Any questions?
Thank you, Councilman Cornick, for doing that research.
Yep, no problem.
Sure, we all look forward to the day when we're not talking over each other and everything with this technology.
It is a little baffling that we don't need the microphones, so maybe we just save some money. So, we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Okay, then the next thing on old business is Old Town Hall, 211 High Street, possible uses and what to do with the building.
Okay, I'll take that briefly. This was discussed at the July council meeting at the request of Mayor Green, and he requested it get put back on the agenda just to keep it in the forefront. Old Town Hall, 211 High Street, has been vacant since mid-January of 2020 when we moved into this building. There was some brief discussion for possible uses, preferably something that would generate some revenue. Public Works has been unable to check the contractor prices and options due to the workload and being down to staff members. So we'll keep that going and try to get some numbers from some local contractors and some ideas. But
Okay, thanks for keeping that. Yeah, thanks for
if
keeping that.
anybody has any ideas, please speak up.
Thank you. Okay, any residents' concerns? Got some folks here. Anybody want to ask about anything, or anybody signed up over there?
Nobody
Okay. All right. All right.
Kim, I do have
Sure. Go
a
ahead,
couple
Gary.
of things to add real
Sure.
quick. Dedication of Town Hall Public Meeting Room. This meeting room, in honor of Jack Coe, is being planned for November 3rd. Council meeting, November 3rd is Jack's birthday, so we're looking to do that at the November 3rd council meeting, so.
At 6.
At
At 6 o'clock.
Yeah, sorry, thank you.
Oh, 6, okay.
And then I want to share a real quick thank you letter from Sharon Schaefer. She's already got her letters out, and it's Wednesday?
An hour and a
This was
half after
Saturday. I think she was writing them on the way home. She says, New Windsor Mayor, Town Council, and staff, thank you for hosting the FGS Memorial 5K. It is not an easy task to put together a race, but you did it. Saturday was a wonderful celebration of Frank's running life. Thank you to everyone who played a part in making the 5K a success. Frank made many friends and memories during his time as New Windsor Town Manager. It was good to see so many people from New Windsor. Thanks again for your support, Sharon. Just wanted to share that with everybody. And then lastly, I got Wawa coupons.
Yes.
Lots of them. I got packs of them in front of you. Anybody that wants them? I had extra left over from the 5K run walk, thanks to a very generous donation from a friend of my son who works for Wawa. So they're here. They're only good to the end of the year, so I'm not kidding. We have
Yeah,
stacks.
so you have extras here. So we have extras in Town Hall, folks.
Yep.
Come on in and get your Wawa coupons.
Yep,
They're only
for
good till the end of the
coffee,
year.
shorty hoagies, and
Hoagies.
cappuccinos, I think.
Cool. Sounds
That's
like-
all. That's all.
I'll be spending mine.
Me too.
All right. Thank you, and I don't know if you're going to acknowledge that note from Sharon, but please do, if you do, let her know. And thanks again to everybody who did. I was too busy at music on the Main, but I know a lot of you did double duty that day, so thank you. All right. Now, announcements. Anyone have any announcements? I have one. The New Windsor Heritage Group is hosting its Spirited Tales Tour on the 16th, which is a week from Saturday. It starts at 7 o'clock. The rain date is the 23rd. It's a self-guided tour. Folks will walk around to 7 different sites in town and hear stories about former residents and some of the homes. And there will be a costume guide at each site, and the tickets are $10 for adults, $5 for children. Children under 3 are free, and if you buy 4 or more tickets, I know you get a discount. I think it's $4. So the New Windsor Heritage, of course, didn't have any of its activities last year, so this fundraiser's going to be the second one they're having since COVID, so I hope you all support that. And just to tag on to what Town Manager Dye said about the archaeological dig, I did post that on Facebook, and they are looking for volunteers. So if anybody is interested, they have all the information's on Facebook and all the guidelines for what the volunteers need to do and bring. Okay. Anything else? I'm going to publicly thank Councilman Hull for running the meeting so expertly. I tapped him earlier this week and said I can't run the meeting and run the meeting, so he did a great job, so thank you for that. All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor?
Hi.
All right, I don't have my gavel. Meeting adjourned.
Do your Nikita Khrushchev.
Yeah. Good night, everybody.
You're old enough to remember that. Well, some.